So, should any artist or graphic designer spend even 5 seconds looking at the NFT market? Hello and welcome back to Martian-Bean-Counter. Today we're going to look at Opensea, which is a website or portal for minting, creating, selling, trading non-fungible tokens. These are based on Ethereum and if I'm aware, a version of Ethereum called Polygon. I'm not an expert on the software and practices that go behind this, but I am interested in the artwork itself, and I have covered this in a previous video, but I thought I'd just concentrate on one portal, one website for now. Just an introduction, and I'll show you some of the stuff I put on there, which you would have seen before the titles. Okay, so here we're at the title page. This is where you come to when you first come to OpenSea. As you can see, I've already got my profile set up there, which we'll go through shortly. The title page for this, the head up, displays some artist work. These seem to come in lots and lots of different categories. So you've got artwork, you've got collectibles, trading cards, there's some sport memorabilia, digitized, put in here somehow, like photos and things. You've got music, and from what I understand from the entire market as a whole, the NFT market is that there's games, and obviously a much wider variety of digital content which has been put onto various blockchains. And so we're going to concentrate on this one because this is the biggest one, I think. This is the one where most people come into, and this is the easiest to use. So if you have no experience or understanding of what blockchain technology is, this probably is the best place to come, but don't take my opinions as advice. I don't want you to kind of bankrupt yourself in the process of trying to get your work out there. Okay, let's just go through this. Yeah, there's lots of different things here and various qualities from what I've seen. It's an interesting thing. All these guys on here are different types of artists or groups of artists, and from what I understand is the way they describe bringing an NFT to market. It's normally to have that portfolio of work rather than just one work in itself. Although some of the bigger artists like People, who is the only name that I've actually taken to heart at the moment, to be able to load one piece up every now and then, but what made him great is that he was able to do this every single day. If you've got the money to be able to fund making artwork every single day, then you probably don't need to be doing this in the first place unless you want to be mega rich. Okay, so yeah, as I said, there's categories for this. This place has 9 of them. Now the virtual worlds one, which I didn't mention, is bits for computer games. We might have a look at that if we've got time today. There's a lot of sponsors for this website. You'll recognize Coinbase if you have anything to do with cryptocurrency, and I understand the rest of this is probably some form of linkage with that. This isn't a cryptocurrency channel. We're not here to discuss that. We're just here to discuss the artwork itself. Okay, usual stuff right down here in the footers, describing links for everything else. Okay, this is the one thing. Oh, by the way, yeah, the stats thing, I've never seen this on any other website. I think this is a great thing. I think every website should do this. Not only have you got the stats for different artists that have been on here, you also have an activity thing as well. I've not seen this anywhere else before. That's just me. Okay. Okay, so why don't we start at the beginning? We'll start with this artist, Fatales. Thanks for announce it. Okay, now the floor price is I think the average price of their artwork, based in Ethereum. There are over 3,500 owners of the work, and there are 10,000 items on here with around, I think this is the amount of Ethereum that's traded, since each one of these is worth Ethereum, although can't be re-exchanged back into Ethereum. If you look where I'm bringing these up, these are various forms of Ethereum, since Ethereum has many different forms. When you bring an art piece to the works, what will happen is you'll get generated a card of this type, which will have the artwork built into it, the price you created, and any offers that are made for it, and the numbers that go with it. I will show you my version, my artwork soon. What tends to happen is there'll be like one form. So if you look at all these, it's essentially the same person, same image, but the options around it, it's like an avatar. Somebody's basically just changed them all. This is quite a common feature for NFTs, and might actually be the principal selling of how they work. So if you come to Crypto Fighters, imagine we'll see the same thing. Yeah, you sort of do. So see, you've got this ogre, characters repeated 3 times, the wizards repeated repeatedly, wavy woman. That's basically how they do it. So you go into the marketplace, you've got all the different things in there. So you go to new, this is the latest stuff that's been released to the market. Some of this is good, some of this is not something I would be aware of whether it's worth buying or not. Okay, so art is where you're probably going to be loading this stuff up if you're a big fan of this channel and you're one of our subscribers. As you can see, the quality is very different than what you would put onto a print on demand thing. So if you're doing t-shirts or anything like that, it would be different. One thing is interesting about this: copyright. Normally if you're presenting images of people or taking famous images, you would need it to be permissive to be allowed to do that. NFTs don't seem to have this. People are just throwing things on here and nobody's dealing with it. There's no intellectual rights apart from what the person created in the first place, which is interesting. I don't know how that's going to pan out. Okay, so we're going to music. If you're going to create music and put it on here, this is how it will look when it comes on here. I'm not going to play any of it. That's all it is. So let's say you were interested in buying something from here. This is the page that will come up. So this is interesting that you've got basically just a waveform of the music itself, but you would have the image here instead. The name of the creator, buy now, make an offer. This is the price history that will go with it. So there's no trade date because nobody's actually tried to buy this one yet. What's listing? That's basically the listing that goes with it. Trading history, and then more from that person. It's quite simple. And obviously, then up here you've got your social media bits and pieces. You can also take a domain name and you can try to sell it through here, which is quite interesting. Although most of these are already crypto based, because that's the market at the moment. Maybe that will mature as the rest of the domain name market has done so far. And as I said, the virtual worlds, this is how it would look. So all these are things that can be used in other games, 3D programs I'd imagine of some sort. That's all there. Okay, so trading cards. These seem to be the ones that sell best, but you obviously have to create the card itself. I think this is to encourage people to basically buy the whole collection. Some are more interesting than others, some are more creative than others, but it's a fantastic piece of art, I think, which could do some interesting things. Okay, I am rushing through this because I don't want this to be a hugely long video, and I rarely ever edit, even when I am waffling on. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of just a message that kind of describes everything that's on here and how it works. Alright, sports. As I said, with sports is interesting. Has some interesting places on here. This Pokemon Punks thing seems to have been categorized on everything. Now what I'm going to do in future is I'm going to show you how to make these kind of 3D cards, because they're quite good fun to make. Fiddly, but good fun. Okay. It makes you wonder whether this will be worth fortune in the future. I mean, that's essentially what NFTs will come down to. It's not physical property, but as a digital property, whether that be tradable 10, 20, 30 years time, as a physical artistic property would be. Which is why a lot of people are speculating that this might be a bubble. But if you're going to get into it, make sure you're not spending a fortune doing that. And utility, which this is basically everything else that's not there, I would have thought. Again, you can see the repeated pattern. Now, some people are using bots to create its artwork and then throwing 10,000 versions of it on here. There's probably videos on YouTube for you to find that, and I will let you off and I will let you do that. Okay, so you've got resources, which is the usual stuff that goes with it. Just opens up a new page if you want that. And the create button. This is how you would load stuff up. So we'll do this. We'll just pick a random thing that comes up there. Let's say, now this isn't mine, so I'm not going to do anything really with it. We're doing a description. If you've got an external link, this is quite useful in that somebody can click it and then go to a web page or some variation of that. If you've got a collection that you want to drop it into, you can drop it into one of your collections. There's other things here that you can add up, various properties, whether it's exclusive, and then display. Now this is the bit where it costs. If you do have Ethereum, which until this morning was trading close to $5,000 I think, but there's been a bit of a crash as usual in the crypto market. You can actually flip this over and go for Polygon, which is a fast gas-free blockchain experience that works with Ethereum. Basically what that means is you don't pay until you sell, and then you hit create, and then it probably slows down for about 5 hours while it creates it. Oh, it's done it very quickly this time. And then you create sunset, and then you basically go up to here if you want to sell it. So let's say 0.00001, so that's 3 cents, just because honestly this isn't mine. And then we'll complete this, and because we only created the one, and then you sign it, and then this is a wallet, which we'll discuss some other time, unless you've seen the previous NFT market video. But the wallet is basically where all your cryptocurrency is held. Okay, so if you go to my profile, at some point that one single thing will appear there. Now these are the ones that I've created so far. Some of it's artwork you might have seen elsewhere, some of it's brand new experimental stuff. And basically what you put it on here for is up to you. How many you mint is entirely up to you. Essentially you own them until they're sold. And what you do is build them into collections. I keep mine in 3 collections. There's the travel passes one, which is a piece of artwork which I couldn't put anywhere else, so I was planning to make stickers out of it, but it just didn't seem to work out. There's Martian-Bean-Counter one. Why do I keep saying Martian-Bean-Counter when it's Martian-Bean-Counter? I really need to start pronouncing my own stuff properly. Yes, this is basically where I put that collection, and there's my yet to be curated, which is just the random stuff that I've thrown everywhere else. Okay, so you come in here, as I showed you before, you've got the floor price. My average price is 0.01 Ethereum, which is today's price is roughly $35, and the volatility, which is 0, because these have only been on here for a couple of days. And these are basically just hologram versions of what I've already created. So that's what it would look like. There's 100 there. I actually set this one for 34 cents. That's basically what it looks like. Not to be traded yet. Okay. So my favourites tag on there, which I haven't because I haven't favorited any artists yet. And then there's usual account settings and everything else. And sunset is being minted. As I said, it mints in the background until it's ready to be sold. I think you can remove it. It's all there. You can transfer it to another wallet, since these are essentially cryptocurrencies in themselves, and you can just transfer them out to other things. That's basically that. That's Martian-Bean-Counter on Opensea. There's a little kind of link to it. That link only works if you're on here, by the way. I've actually tried it through Google, but looks kind of confused at it. Okay, so what I might do is, as I do more research into this, eventually what I'm planning to do is start highlighting various artists on here, and do